Hello everyone, Spaced Oyster here, and welcome back to Golden Sun, the Lost Age. In the last part, we took down the Serpent of Gaia Rock that was terrorizing Izumo, and we learned this new Psyncergy here, Sand, which lets us tunnel underneath sandy things. Basically, it turns us into sand. Anyway, we're back here on the Apogee Islands because there was a djinn we saw earlier, but we couldn't get to it before, but we can now. It's here in the Apogee Island Cave. Gotta use Whirlwind on this one. And if I sound extremely frustrated, it's because this worthless piece of crap I have to record on crashes like clockwork whenever I try to record Golden Sun. It has been a nightmare recording this series. A literal waking nightmare. I'm so tempted to just give up almost every single time I sit down to actually record things. Anyway, that was the Jupiter Ginny Haze. He's a very useful ability. He can make a character hide away to avoid damage. Basically similar to a Dragoon who has jumped in the Final Fantasy games. Very, very handy. But, you know, I'm already this far in, I'm going to see this all the way through, and whatever divine entity who I hate with every fiber of my being is trying to dissuade me, make me give up on my live streams, I'm going to spit in its eye, and then stomp on it and burn its house down with the lemons. Because I'm not making lemonade. Alright, anyway, now that we have that Ginny from the Apogee Islands, our next stop is going to be right over here. So I will see you guys there. Alright, and here we are, folks. This is the North Oceania Islet. We are here to continue our trading sequence that started on that Tandaria Islet when we saved a penguin. And then we traded the rock the penguin gave us to a bird for a neckerchief. This cow wants a neckerchief. Oh, that red neckerchief is quite nice indeed. That would lift my spirits. Oh, this really brightens my mood. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Oh, are you giving that lovely thing to moi? Yes, I am. Oh, that's so kind of you. I should repay you. Have some milk. Yay, Felix got milk. Oh, yep, a nice red neckerchief will never steer you wrong. Huh, steer. Wrong button. Okay. Yeah, anyway, recording this has been a nightmare, but I am going to stick with it because I am having lots of fun, surprisingly, despite that anger and outburst and all that fun stuff. The Sea of Time, a massive bank of fog that lies over the sea. All sailors fear it, and rightly so. I don't know if I'll ever make it through, but I'm certain my son will do it someday. I remember once, an entire fleet of ships entered the Sea of Time. They vanished into the mists. Every last one of the vessels was destroyed by the currents. Now that's uplifting. Oh, when you enter the Sea of Fog, enter the currents from the direction of the red rocks. Then, your ship won't be destroyed. But that's all I know. And it might not even be right. I didn't really discover the secret of the red rocks. It was Yep, the great explorer from Yalom, who told me. Oh, I should fess up. Oh, ours is a sad lineage. 3 generations of sons have sworn their lives to trying to pass through the Sea of Fog. And just what will happen once they get through the Sea of Fog? I wish they would just give up. Sailors tell of terrible currents and vortexes that can tear a boat to shreds in the Sea of Time. Once, long ago, my husband entered the Sea of Time without being destroyed. The whirlpools spun him around, and he got so dizzy he couldn't stand. I wonder if he remembers. I don't know. He didn't bring it up when I talked to him. I'm assuming this is her husband. I just want to know what's on the other side of that sea of fog. No one has ever crossed through it, but one day, I just know I'll do it. Dad and Grandpa haven't been able to cross the Sea of Time. They're so old now. I will be the one to make their dreams come true. Alright, and now that we're done there, our next destination is this little island here, so I will see you guys there. Alright, here we are, folks. I also keep forgetting that I actually got that rusty mace we found in, I forget where, but anyway, I got that rusty mace that was in my inventory cleaned up, and it turned out to be a demon mace. It was only an upgrade for Sheba. Everyone, for Piers and Felix, it was a downgrade. My pop's the best sailor in all the Eastern Sea. That's why he can go anywhere, even in that tiny boat of his. I can't wait until Dad teaches me how to sail. Oh, you're lucky, mister. You get to ride your boat out on the open sea all you want. My dad will be done with his boat soon, and together we'll be able to sail anywhere we want. I can't wait until the day I can sail far away with Dad and Kurt. Are you gonna leave your mom behind? That's so cruel. Ever since the tidal wave moved Indra, we haven't been able to go to Gondwan's western shores. The waterways north of Tandaria would have been the perfect place to teach my sons to sail. I guess I could make the recording process easier if I recorded in much smaller bursts and then Frankenstein monsters them together. But, I don't know. Did you know Indra moved? It was quite a shock to all of us here. We haven't been able to use the waterways to the south ever since. I'm so grateful our little island wasn't damaged in the tidal wave. It was a miracle. Miracles are handy! I don't know what causes it to crash. Like, I only got 3 programs running. Just the audio recording, the video recording thingy, and then the notes I took to make sure I know where I'm going and what I'm doing. Sniff, sniff! I smell fresh milk! Ha ha ha! Are you going to give me that milk? Are you? Huh? Huh? I'll trade you this for it. I caught it myself. Aw, Felix traded his milk for the dog's turtle. Felix got a little turtle. Oh, it's adorable. I don't like to waste. I'll just take little tiny laps. Yeah, and we only have one more part of the trading sequence to do, and then we're done. But maybe this video recording program is a lot more tough on my hardware than I assumed it would be. Alright, anyway. Our last stop is going to be this island right over here, so I will see you guys there. Alright, folks, here we are at the Sea of Time Islet. Or is it islet? I'm gonna call it an islet. That's more fun to say. You used to be able to dive into the ocean and find all sorts of treasure in the reefs. I liked to think that all that stuff was a gift from the deep. A gift from me. I remember how we used to dredge up treasure by looking for shadows in the reefs. You actually can find treasure that way. I haven't been so lucky so far, as I haven't been really looking that hard, but you can. The temperature of the ocean has been rising. The waters are hottest at the Sea of Time. I sure hope Poseidon hasn't surfaced again. He was once a king, but now he's a monster. Oh, that's still a downgrade. He used to be a god. Long ago, Poseidon ruled over all the oceans as the one true king of the sea. Legends say the only way to defeat him is to stab him with a trident. Oh, that sounds brutal. Although, that does remind me that maybe I've been cutting out too much of the sailing. Like, it's boring and monotonous, and I don't want this to be boring and monotonous. But, well, I don't know. I haven't really been showing it off. I hope the map thing I've been doing is good for transitions and yada yada yada. I'm so very sad and lonely. I wish I had a friend to call my own. Hey, you've got an itty-bitty turtle tot, don't you? Why don't you set that little guy free with me? Yes, I will. Oh, at long last, I have a friend. Lonesome George, I am no more. I'm so happy. I don't have much to offer in return, but I can show you my secret spot. Hop on my back. And we're off. No, and the little turtle tot follows us. It's so adorable. Oh, well, here we are. When you want to go back to the island, just let me know. Alright, so here we are in the Islet Cave. I really hope Islet's right, because otherwise I just sound like an idiot. Okay, and I'm gonna save right here, because that is where my computer crashed when I opened this chest. Turtle boots. Okay. Turtle boots, they boost defense but lower your agility. They're not worth it. I'm just gonna sell those. Alright. Anyway, well, one thing I kind of wanted to talk about was difficulty on video games. I actually tend to play on easier difficulty settings, and I don't know if that's a good thing in my case or not. I've been more and more tempted to try harder and harder difficulties, but I always find myself craving the experience I remembered getting my first time through. Alright, anyway, we have a Venus Djinn here. Make sure you save before you fight it, because it can run away from you. Ooh, Jenna learned Serpent Fume, yay! But one thing that actually got me thinking about it a lot was a playthrough of Fire Emblem I recorded with the randomizers on. I think I mentioned it before. I did recently start editing it at the time of this recording, back in October, I think. And it just got me thinking that I kind of don't want to upload that and instead re-record it, but playing on a harder difficulty setting. Hector Hard mode as opposed to Hector Normal mode. Because the game really has no teeth if you don't have the difficulty up. Same with Dragon Quest XI, weirdly enough. Anyway, that was the Venus Djinn Meld. Launches a powerful team strike. So when you use Meld, it'll pick out one of your party members, and then they'll attack with whoever's using Meld. And that changes Felix's Ragnarok spell to Odyssey. I can't wait to show that off. It's so pretty. You're gonna love it. Maybe. It's one of the most anime things in this game. Aside from the summons. Wait, is anime the right word? Maybe it's JRPG. One of the most JRPG things. I don't know. Whichever one has more over-the-top shenanigans. I mean, they both do, but still. Alright, and then last but not least, we have a rusty staff. Alright, and that'll do it for the Sea of Time Islet Cave. Yep. Oh, I have to read his mind. You all set to go back to the island? Yes, I am. Then back we go! Here we are! If you want to go to my secret spot again, just let me know. Alright, and that also takes care of all the Djinni we can possibly collect at this point in the game. So, all that's left now is to explore more of the Eastern Sea. And our next destination is going to be right up here. So I will see you guys over there. Alright, here we are. These are the Enkol Ruins. I believe I'm going to need a lot of whirlwind, so I'm going to put that on the L button. And this place looks like it's been abandoned for a very long time. Yeah, it's even got ivy growing on the walls. Oh, all these treasures are empty. I guess someone beat us here. Alright, give me just a second. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. I thought I heard something and I wanted to take care of it, but it was nothing. It was nothing. And then I also figured I should take that opportunity to make sure I save this progress, because saving video recordings is a bit trickier, and someone beat us to all these treasures too. Anyway, the more I think about it, the more I kinda wish I had played that Fire Emblem randomized on a harder difficulty, but I've decided that I think I've decided that I'll just upload what I've got anyway, and I can do a future randomized run-through on a harder difficulty at a later time. That might be neat. Well, heck, I don't know why I'm talking about that randomizer run here and now. This Golden Sun video will probably be up much later than that Fire Emblem one was, and I can just talk about all the difficulty-related stuff there. But at the same time, it's been on my mind a bit, because in the middle of the recording process, I've actually been playing through the game on hard mode without any edits, and yeah, it's a lot tougher than I thought it would be. I've also been avoiding the same things I normally do on a Fire Emblem 7 playthrough. Well, you used to do a long time, not a long time ago, but like in high school and stuff. When I learned how to arena grind and arena abuse, I did that exclusively. And I've been avoiding that because it hasn't been as much fun lately. Or, it just stopped being fun. It was basically just a min-maxing thing. Ooh, a Moony robe. Alright, let's give that to Shiba. And I don't think these other ones have anything behind them, but we'll find out. But it's been nice to, re-experience Fire Emblem, with a more experienced eye, but in the way that I used to play it before I got bad. I guess that's the way to put it. Alright, this room looks kinda neat. That's also a broken statue. Alrighty then. Well, I guess we'll backtrack. Nothing to see there, folks. Nothing to see. And then Dragon Quest XI also has me regretting that I didn't up the difficulty setting before I started recording it and uploading it. That's been taking me a while too. I haven't been as motivated to play it, but I guess that's just because it's another turn-based RPG while I've been recording this one, which is a turn-based RPG. But since I've already got so much of it uploaded, I am committed to seeing the whole thing through. Words are tough. Ugh, the English language is just a nightmare to speak. These squirrel things are so nimble. Now, and then another thing that has me worried about that randomized playthrough I did is that, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, yeah, I left the combat animations and such on, and I'm a little worried about uploading it in that state because from what I've been able to, from a little bit I've gathered on other parts of the internet, people don't really like to have a lot of the combat animations on when they're watching people do a playthrough of Fire Emblem. But it was randomized, so I wanted to show off everyone's new sprites, even though I didn't patch them up because I didn't know how to. But still, that has me worried that it's not going to be an enjoyable experience for viewers, despite the fact that I really want it to be. And then since I did play it on Hector Normal mode, it has no teeth, and it basically gets to the point where I could, certain characters can just go through a whole map on their own without facing any adversity whatsoever. And, that's not entertaining either. So I think I'll give a Hector hard mode randomized run another go in the future. As soon as I get more, actually get good at playing Fire Emblem. My current hard mode run is going very poorly, to say the least. Ooh, a Thanatos mace. Yeah, Thanatos. Still a downgrade for the boys, but it's an upgrade for Shiba. So long, Demon Mace. I think Thanatos, in some form of mythology or other, is the god of death. And so Thanatos is usually like a death-related thing. I do know that a thing called a Thanatos Gambit is where you end up defeating someone at the cost of your own life. An example of that actually happened in Okami. Not to spoil too much, but one character ended up getting killed, but she was able to give the good guys, Okami and Isun, her sidekick, or I should say Amy and Isun, her sidekick Isun, just the right stuff they needed in order to beat the bad guys and win the day. And that was an example of a Thanatos Gambit, because she accomplished that in death. I wouldn't recommend aiming for a Thanatos Gambit, but if you're in a tight, sticky situation and you don't think you can survive, then pulling it off through your death is the next best thing. Oh, I feel so weird recommending that. Only do it in video games. If you have to do it in real life, I hope you're, well... Okay, that was the Unleash effect. It has a random chance to cause instant death, which you would expect from all this talk about death and Thanatos Gambits. You know what? I'll just shut up about those. Let's talk about other things. Like this Power Bread. I'm going to use that on Piers. He's going to peer through all the BS and help me figure out what I'm supposed to be talking about. Also, how is the sand not getting even higher? That thing hasn't stopped pouring out sand. This place is so confusing. Piers, you had one job. Hit the slow-moving thing with your sword. I have been enjoying the tougher difficulty settings, like even though I remember playing through the games when they were easier, I've really been enjoying trying out the games on harder settings. and, you know, just trying to figure everything out. It kind of makes old experiences fresh again. I am so lost, I don't know where I need to go. Okay, that is the direction I need to go, so I want to explore everywhere else first. Alright, let's use move here. And then I'm gonna backtrack a smidge, because I didn't explore that other way. I thought it was the way I would need to go, but I think I was wrong about that. It also kind of makes me wish I had done this on the hard mode version instead of playing through it on normal mode. Definitely glad I've avoided easy mode though, where I just transfer my character's levels through and then they just steamroll through everything. That would have been boring! But hard mode might have been actually a bit more interesting to watch for this Golden Sun playthrough, especially since I am somewhat familiar with these games. And it would have been a nice contrast to Dark Dawn. I don't think I'll be able to record that one and put it on this channel, unfortunately, as much as I would like to. I think on the last part I will put a link to someone else's Let's Play that actually went through the whole game, or went through Dark Dawn. Yeah. Okay, so this room, you have to step on this button, and that causes the sand to start rising. And then you need to get it over to this button in order to open the door, and then climb it before you get crushed. Fun, right? That puzzle is actually a little bit too easy, if we're being perfectly honest. Alright, and then in this room, we just drop down here. Woo! And then... stalling tactic. We fight off these enemies. Well, that was weird. Okay. Anyway, the one thing I actually have been enjoying about that Fire Emblem playthrough, though, is I've been learning how to use Photoshop a bit better, and that ended up being a lot more interesting than I assumed it would. So that's always a good thing, I suppose. Or at least it's not bad. But I'll take away from each of my experiences what I can as I can, and yada yada yada. Expand that resume. You know, I don't like saying the word resume. It just sounds like you're trying to be fancy in French and pronouncing the word resume. And I just realized I should be letting Jenna cast spells instead of Sheba on these enemies, because Sheba has to do a lot of whirlwinds. Fortunately, she has the Psyncergy pool to go through with it, and I think at this point, if you wanted to experiment with other classes, it would actually be possible. Because of reasons. Well, no, because of, we have 7 Jin of each element, and that was, I think, the cap in the last game, or at least I think we have 7 of each element. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Never mind, we have 6 of each element, but that's enough to get us into some triple element classes, the triple element classes have a few alternatives to the whirlwind spell that Jenna or Felix could learn. Alright, now we gotta start playing around with these statues, but I don't remember which ones have the thing I want. Or, guess I should say things, you know? We're just gonna pull them all down. And since I'm gonna need move a lot, I'm gonna assign it to the L button for now. Oh, excuse me. Although that excuse me is probably going to sound weird, because I probably cut that sneeze out. I sneeze like a cannon going off. Ugh. It kind of hurts a lot, too, to be perfectly honest. If you do not sneeze loudly, I do not recommend trying to sneeze loudly, because it hurts. It really hurts. I think I might cry. Alrighty, set up for later as we explore these ankle ruins, which is admittedly taking a lot longer than I thought it would. Alright. But, I guess difficulty is something I've always had a weird, I guess relationship is the right word. I've always had a weird relationship with difficulty, because as a kid, I always had a you-must-win mindset when it came to video games. Like, I even remembered I saved frequently on, Game Boy Advance versions of Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, and if I ever lost, I would reset, because I didn't want any losses to tarnish my perfect record. Ugh. Learning to accept the fact that you can lose is definitely a tough lesson when it's been ingrained so heavily throughout your youth. And that's probably what contributed to me liking to arena grind in high school on Fire Emblem, and just tarnishing the overall experience. I must have made it around. I don't think I fully explored everywhere else. If I had known that those face-pulling parts were just to side areas, I would have saved those for later, or done those right away. But I did not remember that. And then, like, it's good to not lose when you're playing a game like Fire Emblem. But I avoided harder difficulties so much because, like, what's the point of playing on a harder difficulty when your odds of losing are so much higher, and you don't want to do that. Huh. Okay, I am officially lost. I do not remember the ankle ruins that well. And that's useless there. We push down the thing. Alright, I'm gonna try going down that right path again. Because I think there might be more to do here. I thought I was going to weave my way around to the top and then be able to do some stuff that affects the right by going left first. But that didn't turn out to be the case. Huh. Alright. Well, let's see if there is something I missed over here, and then we'll get right back into the explorations. But as I've been getting older and trying more and more to find more worthwhile experiences in the video games. Oh yeah, we can jump right over here. How did I miss that? I've been having a lot more fun actually trying and succeeding at things that I used to find difficult. I guess the first thing that really started to make it more difficult experiences really click for me personally was trying Dark Souls out. Like I remember I tried Demon Souls when that was a new thing, and I had loads and loads of help, so it didn't really feel too tough. And I ended up grinding a lot because I wanted to meet arbitrary level standards that I would apply to different games, even though grinding never really helps out in a Souls game. Like, you can increase your stats all you want, but you're still going to be extremely fragile, and if your gear isn't up to date, it's not going to do you much good anyway. And yeah, Dark Souls was really the game that taught me to learn how to advance as a player while also advancing my character. Alright, this room's gonna get a bit tougher, because you'll see that we have the switches over there. The thing actually spits out sand much more frequently. Yeah, a bit tougher version of that puzzle, but not unmanageable. What's it? I keep forgetting I don't have Whirlwind there. I'm gonna put it back. And I think that was the intended thing that the developers wanted, especially the lead designer, Miyazaki. I think he really wanted people to be faced with what seems like overwhelming odds, and then to eventually overcome them through perseverance and ingenuity. And then basically from there, I've been trying harder and harder things. Or replaying older games that I loved, but, you know, on harder difficulty settings that I never really tried out when I was younger. And it's been really, really neat, and I forgot to whirlwind these. I don't think there's anything behind them. I think there's usually a distinct silhouette, but it never hurts to be thorough. That, and I pretty much always use the same excuse I've probably been using a lot here, and that I'm just not very good at a lot of these games. To justify the reason as to why I don't play on tougher difficulty settings. Like, I'm just not that good, guys. Come on. But that isn't an excuse to not try. If I try and fail, that's better than just not doing it at all. Or not giving it the good old college try right from the start. Maybe? Although one thing that I don't really look forward to when trying to get into tougher content, especially in regards to multiplayer games like Final Fantasy XIV or Dark Souls, is that people who are already doing that content, they tend to get a bit elitist. That always makes me nervous. Like on Final Fantasy XIV, I've mentioned a few encounters I don't like on public forums, and the usual response I get is just, get good. And the worst part is, they weren't even tough encounters, I just didn't like a few specific mechanics, but no, difficulty was obviously the problem with them, or the problem I had with them, and clearly I'm just crap. Which, technically true, but that's not what I was trying to get across. Alright, yeah, and the statue moves. It won't crash all the way into the wall, but you do want to get behind it, and that's what that patch of sand right there is for. And then you sand here. And ta-da! You can also just cast Retreat to get back to the entrance, and then walk back up there. But I figured I'd just walk back, because I think it was a shorter walk overall. I don't know, though. I usually used to cast just Return. I wish I had a third button I could assign Psyncergies to, because I've been needing 3. Okay, so this room is kind of tricky. If you use Reveal, you'll see that there's actually a hole in the middle. So we're going to want to push this block into that hole, and we can only push it into the hole when we're using Reveal. Very handy. Alrighty then. And it looks like you can only go through the ankle ruins in one way. You have to go left first, and then right, because there were a few things that we did on the left side that made it possible to explore further on the right. Alright, so now that we have that statue activated, I'm actually going to cast Retreat this time to make it back to the entrance. And then, stalling tactic. Oh crap. Oh, that's not good. Accidentally clicked the wrong target for Piers. It does kind of make me wish there was a, are you sure this is what you want to do thing for Golden Sun, but that would also bog down the turn-based combat way too much. Think Final Fantasy XIII. Very bogged down in menus in its combat. Anyway, one thing we can actually do with the Sand Psyncergy is we can climb sand waterfalls. You slow down a lot while you're doing that, but you can climb that. Very, very neat. Anyway, that lets us climb up higher in the ankle ruins. Yeah, but the thing that actually got me interested in trying to try out Dark Souls at all wasn't the fact that it was tough, but the fact that the world seemed like an interesting place to explore, and a lot of people mentioning things about it being, you know, having an interesting setting and a good story to tell. And while I'm not sure that second one is true, I do love the concept of exploring a world in a Souls-like game. Even though I'm not very good at them. Alright. Anyway, we have the left prong now, so that is our second piece, second piece of a trident. I don't know if it's going to be important at all, but I do know that I'm going to call that an episode here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.